Not too long ago, I was over at a friend's house for a barbecue, and at this point, I had already been about two years, give or take, sober. And I was talking to one of my friends, and he was asking me questions about, quitting, and just, we had this whole long conversation about it. And we got into the topic of addictive personalities. And his wife, who's also a very good friend of mine, we all went to college together. So they know me in like peak rut drinking mode. And the topic came up if I thought I had an addictive personality. And honestly, at that time, I didn't. But my friend, she's like, really, Rhett? Like, just gave me this look. And that really hit me. Not in like a negative way, but I just kind of like, it's like a light bulb went off in my head, and I was just like, man, maybe I do have an addictive personality. And I didn't dive deep into it at the moment, because, we were hanging out with friends, having a good time, like, just enjoying the moment. But later on, and still to this day, I think about that from time to time. Do I have an addictive personality? Now, I think the reason I shied away from maybe having an addictive personality was my ego. Because if you say you have an addictive personality, you're basically telling yourself that you don't have control over certain things. You don't have control over drinking or whatever it is, food, drugs, whatever, right? And as humans, we don't like to not be in control. So it's admitting that you have an addictive personality is tough just in that mindset. Now, in the process of thinking about this, about having an addictive personality, I asked two people who know me probably the best, my wife and my mom. And I was serious. I was like, do you guys think I have an addictive personality? And it's weird because I asked them separate, and they both kind of gave me the same answer, which was, I don't think you have an addictive personality, but when you decide that you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Which is true. Now I'm thinking about the contrast between what my mom and my wife said and this idea that I have an addictive personality. Do they overlap somehow? And that kind of got me thinking. When I was drinking, like, I drank to get drunk. So, my mindset is, I'm gonna get drunk. There's no doubt about that. And what do I do to do that? Well, I drink a shitload. And there was no one in sight that could tell me, hey, maybe slow down, calm down. I don't know that I ever heard those words from anyone. Maybe. I'm sure they were said, but I didn't hear them. Right? I just filtered that out. Yeah, super interesting. And then I started thinking of like other areas in my life. Like once I get onto an idea or something, like I put everything into it, my mind's hyper focused on it, maybe too focused at times, depending on the project, whatever it may be. But then I started thinking about like, okay, drinking would give me this feeling of buzz, drunk, whatever. And I kept wanting to feel that feeling. So I'd have one drink, okay, feeling pretty good. Okay, but I want more of that feeling. I want that feeling times 10. I want to feel more drunk, more buzzed, more high. So, more drinks, more shots, more drinks. Okay, now that I'm thinking about this, maybe I do have an addictive personality. But does that just apply to alcohol? So I started thinking of like other areas of my life. At one time, I was chugging energy drinks like crazy. And I started thinking about that too. Okay, I kind of had the same mindset when it came to energy drinks. One felt pretty good. You get this kick of energy, you kind of have this like tingling throughout your body. You have this like surge, this like mental high, and you're like, oh wow, that feels good. I want more of that, higher intensity. I want that feeling times 10. So I mean, there was a point in my life where I was drinking 2-3 energy drinks easily a day. On top of that, caffeine, pre-workout. Like I had so much caffeine in my system. Granted, I was working like 15-20 hour days. I was running a taxi company, but the same kind of mindset, the same, I guess you could say, addictive personality crept up. And what also I've noticed too, when I first quit drinking, when you quit anything, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, whatever the case may be, you always tend to like pick up another vice, right? If you quit drinking, maybe you start smoking, or maybe you start vaping, and now you're not addicted to alcohol, but you're addicted to cigarettes or vaping. So you're really just trading one thing for another. It's interesting how our minds do that. I've had conversations with clients and friends who have quit drinking and they kind of face the same issues. They quit one thing, but they pick up another. And then they quit that and they pick up something else. So back to the addictive personality, I started to apply this to food. I've always been on the smaller side. I'm not a big guy or heavy or anything like that, but I can eat like someone probably twice my size. And I've been like that since I was a kid. And now I noticed myself eating when I'm maybe not hungry, or eating to like prove a point. For instance, everyone knows that I'm a big eater, so when there's gatherings, barbecues, whatever the event, like they ask if I'm coming so they know to have enough food for everyone. And so, the comments, oh, Rhett's coming, you better have enough food. And now I find myself trying to like live up to that expectation of, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna eat a shitload. I'm gonna put on a show of how much I can eat. And I never really noticed that before, because I will eat myself sometimes until I can't even move. I mean, thank God I have a fast metabolism, otherwise I'd be in big trouble. Big trouble. Now getting back to alcohol, maybe I do have an addictive personality. Rue, be quiet. Anyways. So yeah, I guess I do have an addictive personality. When I was drinking, I was chasing that high. And when you have a tolerance like I did, I mean, that to get to the high I wanted, to the drunkenness that I wanted, I mean, that's 10, 15 drinks deep. That's too many. That's way too many. Why does any human need to drink double-digit drinks? Doesn't make any sense. At the time it did. It was, kind of a badge of honor. Oh man, he can put him down. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? What is an addictive personality to you? Do you have an addictive personality? Let me know in the comments. That's all I got for you today. I'm gonna go hang out with Rue. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next one.